What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your Maker2199 bringing you guys another commentary. Now, this commentary, I want to continue it on my school series that I had going on, like what to expect on college. I think I named it, and is I should have just named it something regarding school, like in general, because it's basically what it is. So, when I was going to middle school, high school, I never took full advantage of my education. I was mentioning that on another video, and I was always able to go to the pre-AP, AP, and all of those super advanced classes and courses. I had the mental ability all the time. I was more than smart enough to take them. I never did, and there was a reason for my madness or the method. I was lazy, and I knew what I was doing. I knew my math, I knew my science, I knew my social studies, and all of that. I always passed my government exams, to graduate and all of that. Didn't really have trouble with them. I did have trouble with them because, like I mentioned before, English is not my first language, and these exams are given in English all the time. So I didn't know any English when I started taking some of these exams. So I did really well on the math because I know math. Math I'm pretty good at, and I did terrible on the reading and all of that because I just couldn't simply read the language. That's what happened. So I failed a few of those till I learned enough to be able to pass them, and I only failed like 2 or 3 times, and that's the reason why I failed. If they would have given me this examination on my native tongue, I would have passed it easy. No doubts about it. So there was nothing. It's not that I was disadvantage. The disadvantage wasn't because I wasn't smart enough or anything like that. Not at all. And it was just unfortunate, because this is the way that schools do things here. Everything's English and what have you. But by being bilingual, here in the United States, it's more advantageous than just knowing English. It really is. Because you're a lot more versatile and you could work a lot more places and have a lot more opportunities in general. Almost everybody that I know of, and yeah, and almost everybody that I know and that I've met and all of that are bilingual. Whether, and it's not always the same like language. Their second language is always almost English. Some people, their second language is something else, but we all come from diverse backgrounds, and being bilingual is super good. And it is important to know more than one language, or even three or four. So that you can just appreciate life and all of that, cultures and all of that different stuff, in my opinion. But that's usually what happened, and I'm not trying to make a case saying that they should change the system and you know teach it in different languages. No, that's the way that the US does things. That those are the rules. That's the playing field. I high-fived that enemy as he passed by, didn't even notice, and then I killed him. But that's the playing field, and like I've always say, we have to play by the rules. Those are the rules right now, and that's what we play by. And once I started to learn English and get a grasp of it, nothing was gonna hold me back but myself, and I did. I never took advantage of the programs and all of that I should have, and I just ended up suffering for it when I went to my college or university. Career as a student and all of that. I was the one that suffered, nobody else. Like I've said, you're not gonna cheat anybody else. You can only cheat yourself, and that is so true. And that's basically what happened. I had a really hard time with university and some of this stuff, at the beginning and other stuff, and it's due to the culture that I grew up in the environment, and it's also due to holding myself back. And I don't want any of that to happen to you guys. And I always tell my nieces, because they were born, like I said before on a previous video, they were born pretty spoiled. My brother, my sister and all of that, they've done everything they had to do. They work hard to earn a really good living, and they're quite spoiled. They don't realize how spoiled they are compared to how we like grew up and all of that. And they don't take advantage of education and all of that. And it's funny to see how dumb people are getting, just in general. I was watching this YouTube video, in the past I've seen them, and I've seen some recent ones. I've seen them now. I said in the past I hadn't seen them, but I've seen them now. This video that I was watching in particular, and they just interview like random Americans, people that should be in high school or just got fresh out of high school, whatever, and they're so retarded. There's some simple stuff, and you wonder, how does this person even know how to breathe and walk and do all of this stuff in this world. It's incredible to see how stupid and not, self-sustained some of these people are. They depend on technology and all of that, and one of the very first things that you need to keep in mind is that America was built great because of independence, hard work, skills, you working hard, your determination, and all of that is dying with a lot of these younger Americans, and I'm worried to know what their future will be, once their parents are gone, like once my generation is gone and these younger kids are out there, how are they going to survive for their own, on their own and all of that? How are they going to sustain their own kids? It's quite frightening to see this sort of stuff, and I don't want that to be the case for you. I want you all to be able to be self-sustained and all of that, and some of you might think that it's selfish and all of that, and I agree and disagree to an extent, but we're in America, we play by the rules here, and that's the way it works, and yes, no, I'm not an immigrant or anything like that. I lived my entire life here. I was born here. I'm a US citizen. My parents are US citizens. It's just the way that things were back in the day, it's just the way that things work. My grandparents did became US citizens. They were the first ones to come over, so I'm not like an immigrant or anything like that. I'm an American person. I grew up here all my life. I've never been to any other place. I've never been outside the US, and a lot of the things that I know are US based, and I know a little bit about other areas due to education, and just learning cultures and all of that. But yeah, and reading is the biggest part of education. It really is. It's super important. It's essential for you guys to read. And back in the day, we had to read a ton of books for school, even high school, and even college. I was really bummed out to know that the last time that I went to talk to my advisor for university, they took out a lot of the courses that were super hard that I had to take. They took them out of the curricular, whatever, with the degree plan, and I was super bummed out, not because I feel like I was cheated or anything like that. I learned more than what these people are going to learn, and these courses were essential for business and all of that. So I am worried about the future of business with these new grads. Like they're not learning what they should be learning, the core basics. They were super hard for a reason. There's a reason why not everybody can do anything that you want to do, and you have to work hard, develop skills. That's the way it works, and people are getting lazy, and universities, just to get that pay and get that retarded student in, they lowered the standard. It's so much easier now to get the degree that I got, and that is super dumb to me, because you're not going to be able to compete with me, and I will tell you that as a fact. I always was a great student, teacher pet, all of that, what have you, and you're not going to be able to compete with a person like me, and that's the reason that you go to school, to be able to compete against people like me that develop skills and know what they're doing, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to be able to compete with me, and I'm sorry to say that, but it's true, and it's not me trying to feel superior or anything like that, I'm superior to no one, but wow, that is just impressive to see, These people are really going to have it hard, because like I said, when you try to cheat the system, you lower the standards all the time. The people that suffer are the people that are getting this done to them, You shouldn't be happy when somebody lowers the standard for you, They're cheating you of your education and what you're worth, they're going to lower your worth and all of that, the value that they're giving you, and that ain't fair, it really isn't. And I do want you guys to get the most out of it, And now I noticed that a lot of these courses, they required you to read about 3 to 4 books apart from the textbook that you were reading. Now they don't, they've been taking a lot of this out. Now a lot of courses are online. They're super easy. You don't have like one try on paper. You can do it online. The professors leave it unlimited, and you can just guess and get hundreds on your courses, And when I was going through these new changes, I was super bummed out. I'm like, all the hard work that I had to do to learn, it doesn't take it away, because I did learn, but these people aren't going to be learning, and they're going to get a degree and all of this, and they're going to be fired, because once you have a degree, you gotta, the degree isn't enough. You gotta prove that you know what you're doing. A degree doesn't mean anything. It's what you make out of your education and what you're given that dictates your success and all of that, and do keep that in mind. That hasn't changed, and I don't think it will ever change. And I hope not, because I don't want to have everything like automated and all of this and have a bunch of morons walking around, and hopefully you're not offended by that term, but and if you are, well, tough skin, that's the environment that we grew up in. People are so melodramatic and they're not what they used to be in the past, and I shouldn't have to change for you guys, just as you guys are not going to change for me. So do keep that in mind. We are all are entitled to our opinions, but yeah, make the most out of it, because this is your future. Your future is dictated a lot by your education level. It's your livelihood, and if you're not educated, you're not smart in all of this, you're gonna struggle, and that's a sad part. It's hard for me to say it, but it is true, and it's something that I struggled with and I didn't want to realize when I had dropped out, and I realize it now. So do study, do everything you have to do to set you guys up for future success. It's on you. Your success is on you. It's not on your teachers, it's not on anybody. Don't make excuses. It's on you. You make the most out of your life. It's your life, your chapter. You write it how you want to. Hopefully you guys are inspired to go out and read and do more and advance yourself and do what you want in life. You can do anything you want as long as you work hard, dedicate yourself to it. It's so true. Nothing is dead. The American dream is alive. You can do anything. Hopefully you guys have liked this. It's coming to an end. I hope to hopefully inspire you guys to be more, than what some of these younger kids are being. Be different. That's the way that you're gonna succeed and beat them. Be different, be more, be skillful, be the best. Write your own life. Don't let somebody else write it for you. Thank you. Like, sub. Hopefully you guys weren't offended. And it has to hit home in order for you guys to take change into action. It really does, and somebody has to be blunt and tell it to you right on your face. So hopefully this will help you guys, and it'll motivate you to do and become the best person that you can be. And if I had some influence on that, I'm just glad that I was in the way, and hopefully send you guys towards the right path. And that's what I'm here to do. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.